After his home is burned down and his clanmates taken, Noah embarks on a journey that will lead him to question a lot of his beliefs, as well as facing an ape leader who contorted the teachings of the first elder, Caesar. To dethrone him, he will have to learn to trust a human. Hey folks, welcome back to Weekos. My name is Luca Ripa, and today I'm bringing you the review for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the latest installment in the iconic franchise, this time directed by Wes Ball. Kingdom is the start of a new story taking place 300 years after the events narrated in the Caesar trilogy. I should start by saying it parts from the very dark tone of Matt Reeves' chapters. Kingdom is an old-fashioned adventure movie mixed with coming-of-age tropes, one where a lot of things happen and each of these are propedeutic to the protagonist's growth. And trust me, that is plenty to justify the runtime of 2 hours and 25 minutes, the longest entry in the franchise. A lot of things happen, to the point you ask yourself whether or not there was something superfluous. The answer is no, as Noah, our protagonist, fits the bill perfectly for such a story, as the world he lives in is very small, only to explode in scope out of necessity. It's a very smart way to both convey a good story, good characters, as well as world building, which was inevitable given Kingdom seems to be the first installment of a new trilogy. The script by Josh Friedman is very smart in that regard, as it is engineered to have both the character development and world building, and by proxy the story, intertwined, so we never feel anything stops to expand one or the other. Of course, being an old-fashioned adventure, the action is great, nothing over the top, and perhaps lacks the virtuosity that we saw in Dawn, which is without a doubt the best entry in the whole franchise. Nevertheless, it's so well made it's impossible not to be captured by it, and in general the film is very well made. You might think it's normal given the budget, but given this day and age, it's not. Wes Ball returns behind the camera after directing the Maze Runner trilogy, whose latest entry came out in 2018, meaning it's been 6 years since his last effort. The thing is, it doesn't look like it. He and cinematographer Gil Pados craft a beautiful cinematic experience that both take into the action as well valuing the dramatic moments. As I said, extremely competent filmmaking where nothing is out of place and all the right choices are made. Right choices that include the cast. Owen Teague beautifully plays Noah, whose narrative arc is so wide that it might be tricky to portray in between, just not for him. Kevin Durand, who's not new to villainous roles, here plays Proximus, the King Ape. As expected, he's perfectly in part and offers one of those characters you want to take down. Also lovely are the performances from Lydia Peckham and Travis Jeffrey, who play Noah's best mates Suna and Anaya respectively. As for humans playing humans, we only have 2. William H. Macy, who plays a man who gave up fighting to bring the old world back, while Freya Allen, who you might have seen in Netflix's The Witcher as Ciri, plays May, a woman still believing humanity can make a comeback. Although Macy's character may seem boring, his brief relationship with May is really interesting and sets up what might be humanity's intention going forward, which is exactly the point for what's next. The movie, when it comes to human versus apes, never even hints at taking side. On the contrary, very interestingly, presents right and wrongs of both, leaving the spectator deciding for themselves. Okay, maybe at the end there's a shot that is probably taking a side, but at the same time it's impossible not to understand that. Regardless, it's beautiful to see that from what all things considered is a Disney movie. Speaking of 20th Century Studios, this is the second franchise installment this year that hits the mark, the other being The First Omen. Although very different genres, both expand the lore while telling a very compelling tale. It's impossible not to see the studio imprint despite the different writers. What I'm saying is, the idea behind these legacy IPs is very clear, and that makes me all that more excited for Alien Romulus later this summer, as well as those Marvel Studios films that are involved in. Because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was a big gamble, given the previous beloved trilogy, yet Wes Ball knocked it out of the park with a very good entry in the franchise, which is why I scored the movie with a solid 8.5 out of 10. Sure, some might be disappointed it ain't about Cornelius, Caesar's son, but telling a new story exploring the legacy left behind by the first Elder Ape allowed for a more mythological depiction of those events, as well telling a completely new story both from the perspective of the apes and the humans, making us, or me at least, very curious for what's next. That's it for this review. Did you watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this review, leave a like and share it. Also remember to connect with us on all social media. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok and Twitch. My name is Luca Ripa. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.